All right, everybody. We are back with part 2 of this huge paneled Liquid Kernedge. I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And we have Bruce, Tom, Brian, and JP all with us here tonight. Again, I think we're still talking about cartoons. I'm not sure where we're going. I think we're just talking about our deep-rooted feelings and thoughts on the movies. Is someone playing with a remote control car?
Well, I don't know what that was, but
it was a homicide.
Now, hold on, Scott, hold on. The notes I received in the group text message where we're going to talk about the partitioning of the Middle East by the British and the French in a post-World War I environment and how it's led to our modern geopolitical situations and our dependence upon Middle Eastern oil.
Oh yeah, those are Jason's notes. That's for his other podcast.
Oh
no, we're also going to talk about other shit that doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
Oh, perfect. Because my notes, I say, let's talk about the Toxic Avenger, 1984 American superhero.
Amazing! I have seen that movie. It is amazing.
The Toxic Avengers are much forgotten about comic book character. I think people don't give him enough credit. Seriously, who the hell's at a roller derby right now?
Wow, that went shitty bad.
Yeah, that went. Who signed off?
Did someone just kill a G.I. Joe? Because I don't know what the hell happened right there. I think we lost Brian.
No, I'm here.
Oh,
no.
We're all here. Oh, okay. Never mind.
All right. Sweet,
I heard a remote controlled in a bank, so apparently someone killed a G.I. Joe. I don't know.
It was the rest of your Transformers playset. Tom's breaking it over there.
Well, that's my childhood officially dead then, so that's fine. That is fine. So, Tom, I know you keep going back to Voltron. What makes Voltron for you your favorite cartoon of the 80s?
Do you mean other than the fact that it was 5 lions that joined up to create one giant ass-kicking robot that defeated the monster of the week?
Yeah.
Nothing. That's it.
Tom, have you watched the new one?
I have. I've only got through 3 seasons. I can tell you though that one of our intrepid hosts has texted me incessantly about the new episodes when they come out. His name rhymes with
August 10th, the new season comes out. It's 13 episodes. Not that I'm counting. But yeah, August 10th is the next season. They've only got 2 more seasons left, just so you know, Tom. So.
Oh, good. I can catch up.
We are going to wrap this story up for Voltron here pretty quick. But yeah, I admit, I still do watch the Voltron show on Netflix. It's mindless entertainment, and it's a good story.
Now, do you think, though, that because they're starting to rebuild a lot of these kind of old shows and try to remake them, do them over again, is it just nostalgia for us as a society? We want to go back to something that was from a simpler time? Or what do we attribute to remaking these shows and cartoons again and again and again for our new audiences?
You know, that's a great question because I've noticed there's been a real uptick in that, just in TV in general, with the Roseanne reboot, Last Man Standing, Will and Grace. There's been a lot of shows that have gone off there and they've brought back because they thought they were popular again.
I would have to agree.
Well,
it seems like a lot of times the nostalgia of it, they're going to roll the dice saying, hey, you know, the 30-somethings that grew up watching this are going to definitely buy into it, if not for 1 or 2 episodes, and maybe for the first season before they go on to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would generally tend to agree with that. And then just to take it a step farther is I haven't watched the new Roseanne, but like the new Star Trek, it's set in kind of the same time as the original Star Trek, but it's much darker and grittier Star Trek. So it's a reflection of kind of the current TV landscape. So they're trying to figure out a way to get more money out of these things. And I think that's totally what like Last Man Standing, Roseanne, and Star Trek are. Is it's just, hey, it's a familiar property and we can redo it in this new weird dark way, and boom.
I watched the Roseannes when they rebooted them. I wasn't a big fan of the original, but I just wanted to see what they did differently on this new one. And it's essentially the same story 20 years later. Nothing's changed except the kids have now had kids and they're in their 60s instead of 40s. And it was more modern topics. And it wasn't bad, but it wasn't something that I was dying to watch every week, you know? I mean,
I watched them all, too.
Yeah.
I watched them all.
I mean, it killed 22 minutes, but that was about it.
Yeah. What about the new Full House, Scott? Have you been following that?
I have not.
But it's been very popular. That show was dumb in the 80s, and I gotta think it's probably dumb now. but people like.
But people are so hungry for like
show.
They're so hungry for like a wholesome family show they can watch with their kids and remember, like, oh yeah, DJ and Steffi and all those girls back then. Now they're all our age, still our age, but they're hot. So it's okay to.
Oh, but you don't watch the show though. Oh, you don't watch.
Not at all. No.
Have you seen pictures, man? They're hot. I'm not afraid to admit that I've seen the pictures.
I guess it just seems like that nowadays. We talked about this before, Scott. That the movies and the scripts that are coming into movies are starting to get shittier and shittier, and now all these TV shows, it's almost like all the writers are going to the TV shows to start writing, because it seems like every year there's 4 or 5 like awesome shows that get created where the writing is just fantastic, and you wonder, well, why now? Like what? Where TV shows are now becoming such a big place for people to, spend their evenings watching TV.
It's
Have you guys?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Have you guys seen that Magna PI is being rebooted?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
With Jay Hernandez.
And I know I'll check out the first show to see what it's like. But if it's like, the original, I'll keep track of it for a while. But eventually, if you don't have like good original stories and stories like that or shows like that where they're all the same basic formulas, cops meet the bad guy at the start and then they find a way to save the day in the last 10 minutes from the nuclear bomb. Happens on Hawaii 5-0 22 times a year.
And Hawaii 5-0 has been on now for 6 years.
It's been on for 9.
9 years. Like now, I'm looking at like
in 2 more years, it'll match the original show's original run.
Yeah. So, I find it fascinating that TV shows now they're remaking these and they seem to be just as powerful and just as interesting as the originals. Sometimes even more. So.
I hear the Greatest American Heroes coming back too.
I have heard that as well. I've heard
but it's gonna be a girl.
That is, and let me ask you this question. I heard Bruce's sigh right there.
Sorry. Was that loud?
The Greatest American Heroine.
Yeah.
Now, Bruce, I was warned about the Greatest American Hero. That's why I brought it up.
Is it okay for the gender swapping in some of these roles? I mean, what do you guys think about that? Like, just because they're trying to appeal to a broader audience, do you think it's okay? Because they're swapping out Higgins for a woman in Magnum. Granted, she's a smoke show, so I'm okay with that. But
I don't know. It's like the Ghostbusters, right? Redoing Ghostbusters,
right?
Like, can we just
terrible?
Like, I'm all for more women roles, and I get it. Like, you can diversify, you can have, but let's just make some original content. Like, what happened to and I think that's a lot of it. Like, it's nostalgia bringing it back, but it was original back then, and they've just been playing off those same themes, like you said, Scott, for 20 years now.
And I'm right there with you with the Ghostbusters. Like, if you'd have done the original, 3 that were still left, or that are still alive, absolutely. I would have gone to see that movie in a heartbeat because that's nostalgia and a story. The minute you put those 4 women in, I was like, I have no desire. It's just because you're forcing it down my throat.
I agree.
And that's the hard part. It's like they're just trying to force it down on us, and I don't like that. If it's not organic, I feel like it's tainted.
Amen.
I love the way you're thinking, brother. I love the way you're thinking.
I think we just joined No Man from Married with Children now. So.
T-shirts are in the mail.
Yeah, right.
Let's remake Married with Children. That would be funny.
Oh man, I don't think you could ever touch that show though.
Yeah. That one. The problem is there's certain casts, like you couldn't do a remake of Seinfeld either. Like,
no, you could.
There's just, it would be dumb. I mean,
who's making fajitas?
Right? Yeah. Like, you're supposed to be sitting still while we're talking here, so we don't have outside interference, Tom.
Hey, it's not me for a change.
Not me.
That's a shock.
Brian? Sit still.
Okay, I'm trying.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Brian?
Yeah.
If you're going to have a beer, can you at least bring one to everybody?
No.
We have a strict no drinking and podcasting rule on this podcast.
I don't
if you're going to break it, we all got to break it.
I don't follow your rules.
Like, Tom, you were talking about that new Star Trek Discovery. You said it's an awesome show, awesome writing. but you say it's in this about the same time zone or time frame as the original. So what makes that not a reboot, but it's actually something different?
So it's set in an existing universe in property. So it has concepts and things we know, like the crinkling of a starship when it gets hit by the quantum torpedo from the
clearly.
Klingons,
I look forward to that every week.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. But it's got all new ships and all new characters, and it's not like Battlestar Galactica was the last reboot I really watched, where Starbuck went from a guy to a girl. It's just straight up all new characters and all new stories that you've not seen before. It's just in a background that you've never really heard.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So,
I just never heard the crinkling of a starship next to the quantum. Seriously, someone making chips and dip right there? What the hell's going on?
Anyway, I guess, and we're off topic again now. Wow, there's gonna be a hell of a lot of editing on this one, buddy.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm pretty sure it's on my end.
Is
Kids
it
running in and out of the room I'm in right now? So that's probably what it is on my end.
Oh, okay. So you're giving your kids beer to quiet them down on Sunday night? That's
that's whiskey. Come on now,
that's true.
Beer's for rookies.
That helps the little ones sleep the best. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how I feel about reboots in general. I do like original content, but I feel like most of that good stuff is played out these days. The last really good show I saw and now it's canceled, of course, is The Exorcist on Fox.
The Exorcist.
Did you ever watch that?
No,
that's why it's canceled.
Oh man, it was loosely based off of the original movie. Well, it was based off of the original movie, but it takes place 40 years later, where Reagan McNeil's all grown up and changed her name, and it's like attacking her family again. So that was the season 1, and then season 2, it was like American Horror Story. They have a whole new cast except for the preachers, the Catholic priests, and they have to try to exorcise another demon, but this time across the country somewhere else. It was very well done. It was on Fox, so nobody watched it.
Well, and how?
But yet, Lethal Weapon got renewed for a third season.
Third season.
So, and nobody watched third season, and nobody watched.
I thought Lethal Weapon was great. I'm intrigued to see what happened with Stifler on there. But
yeah. What's Lethal Weapon without Riggs?
Exactly. I mean, that was the death knell when they had to fire the guy who played Martin Riggs. But we'll see what they do with Stifler.
Stifler makes everything better.
That's it. He's like TV show Viagra. He's the TV shows that The Rock is to movies. He reinvigorates it.
So what do you think the introduction of both Netflix and Amazon to television shows and movies has done to the networks to try to keep them competitive? Because, these HBO and Netflix, they have all this money they can throw at a show that doesn't have anything to do with advertising, and they can get some really quality shows out there.
I think it makes them have to push the envelope a little bit more.
Yeah, that's the thing. The networks have a ton of money, but they haven't had to work for it because they've just had an audience, right?
Yeah.
Right.
See, and I was actually going to argue the counterpoint that HBO has always existed, and it's always existed in kind of this like niche market. And Amazon and Netflix both kind of also exist in the same niche market. Amazon or Netflix's biggest thing is its back catalog of all the other shows you watch, even though it seems like there's a new Netflix show every week. I think the really telling thing is to go back to Star Trek Discovery, which is a CBS show that you can only watch online.
Why do all roads go to Star Trek with you in this conversation?
Well, because I've been watching it all weekend, that's why.
Okay.
But Jason asks, what has been the direct response? And Star Trek Discovery is truly the network's direct response. It's a niche show. It's hard science fiction. So we've got 4 or 5 people on here. Okay, raise your hand if you've watched Star Trek and you did it willingly. All right, so me and Jason are raising our hands, and okay. So that's 2 out of 5. So that's not quite 25%.
Hey, I watch the movies. I don't.
It's
watch
40%. You numbnuts. Jesus.
Whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm an IT guy.
Yeah,
I
do agree. I do agree, JP. I do enjoy the movies very much.
Right.
The new Star Trek movies are great.
People like the movies, but when it comes to watching like my favorite Star Trek series, how many people have seen Deep Space Nine beginning to end, all 7 seasons?
Nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
Exactly.
I might have seen the adult version.
That's why
Deep 6, 9. I don't know how that goes.
That's not in your other DVD collection. Which, by the way, it's really creepy. You still have that stuff on DVD. It's all online now. Pornhub is a thing, Scott.
I'm old school. I don't want the government know what I'm watching.
Anywho, but I think that is the most direct response is they're doing a fully adult, fully not family friendly Star Trek. Like this Star Trek has full on nudity in it, and it's only online and it's a niche audience. And honestly, CBS is killing with it because the nerds want the content
and they want the boobs,
and the nerds
they want the boobs,
and they want they can get boobs anywhere. So
are you seeing alien boobs on there? Or are you seeing like someone going full Captain Kirk? Like what?
All I'm going to say is you got to pay $5.99 a month to CBS All Access to find out for yourself, Scott.
I'm not paying that much money to CBS to find out if there's full frontal Kirk.
Hey, puppetry of the penis.
That's right. That's not my realm. That's not my realm. That's Jason's realm.
There will be no puppet shows. There have been no puppet shows yet.
I mean, we did. That gives a whole new meaning to Spock's whole "live long and prosper" finger movements, if you know what I'm saying. So.
Well, I'm glad that we were able to at least get back on a topic. I'm not sure how to release this week, but it'll be fun.
We're just gonna call this one "Catch and Release." There, it'll be fun. It's been good.
No, we can call this one the what do you call it? The vault?
The vault.
Deep in the vault.
The train wreck, if you will. Yeah.
This one might actually just have to be like on a dead week. You just release them both on a shot or something.
According to you, every week for us is a dead week. So
yeah, so this is going to be a double release. This is going to be a special 2-part release this week.
That's it for all of our Liquid Kernedge fans.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
All 4 of them.
Yeah. Well, for the record, there's 5 of them, and most of you were on the show here tonight. So we appreciate that.
So you guys will definitely be listening.
Yeah, right? Well, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for indulging me in this conversation that went completely off the tracks. It was fun, though. I think we learned a lot about Tom here this So
I think we learned a lot about the Kern boys. So I think
I have to go watch Fuller House now to see what Bruce
yeah, exactly. See if Jodie Swinton is taking her top off or anything.
Right.
No, that's family friendly. There's no nudity in Courthouse.
No,
just bad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many jokes. Much like this show, so many bad jokes. But hey, if you enjoyed the show, who was your favorite guest this week? Hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, all at Liquid Kernedge. If you want to talk to Tom, especially after this week's show, about Star Trek, who's your favorite Star Trek character? Hit up Tom at Liquid_EP on Instagram and Twitter.
And judging by the social media engagement I get on my things, none of you are going to talk to me, and I really appreciate that. So thank you.
Wow.
We do.
Wow.
That's a shot.
Tom is blistering it today.
This is why we have a no drinking policy on Liquid Kernedge, but he's actually sober when he's saying this. So we want to thank our guests this week, Brian, Bruce, JP, and of course, as always, Tom. You boys always help us out with a great show whenever you pop on, so the invite's always welcome for you guys whenever you want to come on the show with us.
Hey, does anyone else get a weekly reminder? Because I don't. What about you, Bruce? Jason? Either one of you? JP?
For the record, Tom, every time we text you on the weekdays, like, no, I've got a thing. It's Tuesday. My bad movie night.
No, that's Thursday night. But point is
Tuesday night's bad restaurant night. We go to shitty restaurants and bitch about it. That's what you tell us.
Tom's like,
it's not my fault. I have
Tom's
a life.
The old man.
I'm not on a podcast looking up at the bottom rung,
trying to grab for it.
It's like Tom's got that ladder and he's just dangling right in front of it. It's like, nope, you don't got it. Nope, you don't got it. Just pulling up that last second all the time. Oh man, Jason, take us home.
Oh, well, hey, thanks everyone for joining the podcast. It was a lot of fun. I think we need to do it again. I will take care of structure, though. I seem to notice that when Scott tries to do structure,
it's a shit show.
It's a shit show. It's this. So
Train
I will
wreck
try
surprise.
to come up with a structure for us on the French-Polynesian Wars, because I think Tom was ready for that topic, and we totally
I'm out
missed
for that
it.
one.
No,
I'm out
okay.
for that one.
I have to go wash my balls. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
I'm
can't
gonna
keep-
watch. I'm gonna go watch Cleveland Brown game.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. We look forward to next week. We'll get back down to just a part 1 only, but this week we'll have a part 2. So we'll release 2 episodes.
You get part 2.
Well, that's true.
Like that.
That's true. That is true. I'll cut that out.
You're assuming they've made it
That's
this
right.
far.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Of course, that was Scott. I am Jason, and as always, if you never know quite what to say, have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.